Okay, so now some people aren't going to be interested, like spiritual awakening. Like, what are you talking about? That's fruity, airy, fairy stuff. Like, I'm about business, make money, get girls. This is what I'm going to do. And you got to do that. You got to do that if those desires are strong. If they're backed with energy and life force, then you got to do that, because the universe put those desires in us also, because we got to experience what that feels like. The best benefit of experiencing our desires, I'll tell you, it's a secret. It's not because they're going to give us any kind of true satisfaction or happiness. The best is to see that we're going to suffer, that they don't do anything, that we come to the place where we realize, like, God, man, like, I've achieved like pretty much every desire I wanted to achieve, and I'm still all like not happy. I still don't have any serenity or contentment inside. It's like I just keep living for the next hit of euphoria or dopamine that I get from achieving some kind of worldly accolade or desire. And it's like, I'm tired now. Like, damn, what am I going to do? Like, what's next? What's next? What's next? You get tired of that. Like, I don't want next anymore. I want right now. Can I find happiness right now? Like, do I got to keep, like, I'm done. See, when those questions start to come to you, you're ready. That's the benefit of being exhausted with material pursuits and success, is that it turns us on to the spiritual path. I remember Osho said something once that really resonated with me. He says, a poor man can't awaken spiritually. And what he meant by that, and I discovered this in India also, because there's a lot of people there. They don't have money. I mean, they're poor, but man, they're happy. I mean, geez. But that's not my point. They have a lot of desires. They want to come to America. They have these fantasies, what it's like. I'm going to go to America. Whoa, the land of opportunity. I can go there with nothing and make $1 million. And yeah, you can. And I can get all these fancy cars and whatever. Now, Osho said a poor man can't wake up spiritually. Why? Desires. That's why. You see, if they're still really alive, these desires, I would tell you, go do them. Go do them right now. Focus on them as much as you can. Still do your semen retention, because that'll help you, because you'll have energy to go do the desires. And finish that off. Make a list. What are all my desires? Like, I want to finish them all. And then if you make that list, you'll find some might just fall off when you think about doing them. They're like, oh no, this is stupid. I don't want to do that. I used to want to be a sport bike racer. I was deep into Ninjas and CBRs and GSXRs and all that. What's the Yamaha? I don't know. So I was like, I'm going to race these things, And then I looked at how much that would cost me. I got to get a sponsor, and I don't know how to fix these things. And I just got really unmotivated after looking at it, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And there's other desires that you'd have to take some action. Maybe you start to go fulfill them, and then in the process, you're like, no, actually, I don't want to do that. This is too much work. And I just don't want to do it. And then there's some desires, the third option is you have to go do them, okay? This is why it's important to take action. You take action so you find out what's going on. Don't just keep stuff in your head and let it roll around forever, and then you die. You have this catalog full of unfulfilled desires. Go find out now. Are these desires important to you? Are they going to make you happy or not? So then when all that's finished, then you come into a more spiritual mode. Because it's organic. You're not trying to be spiritual because somebody told you to. You authentically realize, like, damn, this is really probably the only thing that's going to give me happiness, and I'm tired of playing around out in the world. Remember, like the prodigal son? That's a good story. The prodigal son leaves the father. No, because the father told the son and the brother, he's like, I got a bunch of money for you guys when I die. The prodigal son was like me, though. He's like, but can I have that now? Because I'm like young. I want to go have fun now. I don't want to maybe you won't die for a while. So then I'm going to, I want to enjoy this now. The father was wise. He says, all right, I'll hook you up right now. Gave him the money. Son left. Went out into the world and traveling and experiencing life and girls and drugs and alcohol and bought cars and all that stuff. And then he got depressed. And he spent all his money too. So he's like, I need to go back home. I need to go see my dad because I'm in trouble. So he went back home and his dad was super happy to see him. Like just welcomed him fully. His older brother was pissed off. Jealous. He's like, Dad, I've been here the whole time. I didn't like leave and act stupid. And then Dad told him, he says, no, my son's been reborn now. He's worked off all this karma and desires, and now he's come back, and now he's really fully free to assimilate these teachings that I have. You see? So this is what I'm trying to say. If you're the prodigal son, go be the prodigal son. Go do what you got to do, and then you'll be back. At some point, you'll see that semen retention and spirituality, they go together. They're not separate. At first, it may start off more physical, and you're just gonna grind through, and you're not gonna waste your semen. That can work for a while. Most people, at some point, you're gonna relapse, or at least edge. Because the mind can't get rid of the sexual instinct. It can't transcend that. The instinct is as deep as the mind. We need more power. That gets revealed at some point. And so where do we get the power? Well, we must go beyond the mind, beyond the whole biological programs that we have and the instincts. We got to go beyond that and find some. What about the power that created this whole machine? See, that we start contemplating that, and then that our spiritual practice is born. And then we realize when we start trying to connect with this power, there's many ways, and there's different sadhanas and spiritual practices and meditations and prayer. Just that's another adventure. So it's like the first adventure, we're trying to find happiness in the material world and trying this and that and this and that and that. That's a big adventure. That adventure ends at some point. Then now we're in the spiritual adventure. Which spiritual practice is for me, and which meditation and all that. Like we can't skip that, you know. It's like we just can't. But anyway, the spiritual adventure's better. It's relative, but it's better. So we start to taste this spiritual power, the transcendent power of it. And then we start to realize, whoa, this is the answer of transcending any habit, any bad habit, or anything we're trying to do that's really deep that we can't do with our mind power. We realize, whoa, we can do this with the spiritual power. And so then we're sold. That makes us want to continue going deeper into the spiritual power, because we realize not only can the spiritual power free us of habits, it also gives us a nice sense of inner stability and serenity. It's like we might have just started on that path just to be free of a habit, but then, just to get a little crumb, and then we end up getting the whole world, so to speak. Jesus said something like that, like, I don't know, find yourself and you've overcome the whole world, basically. Because you have. This whole world's a distraction on some level. And it's meant to be. It's a divine mistake. It's an intentional mistake. It's supposed to be like that. Because we're supposed to taste this delusion, and everything's God's gift. At first we want to just enjoy the gifts. But then at some point we're like, no, I want God directly. I don't want the gifts anymore. The gifts are momentary. They're delusion. It's like they're like sandcastles, Let me find the source. So then I think we're getting into my spiritual channel now. So if you like these talks and you haven't already found my it's called Spiritual Renaissance. That's my other channel. You come see me on there. So then we talk about spiritual practice and all that. They might not be your practice, though, you see. This is the thing. There's no right or wrong practice. The right thing is recognizing this spiritual power. This is what it is. And semen retention helps with that, because if we don't have any, we need power to transform. We need power to even have the epiphany to look for spirituality. And where do we get the power? I shared in the last video how much power is in the semen. There's nothing more powerful than that. So if we're wasting that, we're not going to be aware of this subtle intuition that's trying to guide us on the highest level. We're going to be stuck on more earthbound material level. We're going to be looking for things to give us a quick hit. Man, I don't feel good. Let me smoke a joint. Let me go drink a beer. Let me do something like that. But if we're losing our semen, we're like in that world. We're looking for quick fixes and dopamine to take us out of this debauchery that we've created for ourselves. But now if we're preserving our semen, our intelligence is higher. We have more access to our intuition. I made a video about that. And then that's going to guide us to stay away from these external things, because these external hits and drugs and everything just bring us more down. It's going to say, no, don't go there. Go in. Go talk to some people or listen to some videos that are going to inspire you to, in the right way, in a more eternal, everlasting way. You see, these quick hits that we get outside of ourselves, we'll escape this inner turmoil for a minute, and then we'll be back in it again after it wears off, and more deep into it. Whereas if we're connecting with this spiritual power, it's like what we're gaining, the gains we get from that, they don't go away. Imagine that. They're like eternal gains. Like we take those gains with us when we leave this physical body. And that's important. I've said before, like the quality of character and the level of consciousness that we attain while we're here on this, during this duration, this lifetime here, it determines a lot when we leave. It's going to determine the plane that we go to, basically, because it's going to be based on vibration. If we're living like just a debaucherous, there's a lot of bugs around. We're living a debaucherous life, and we're just full on with addictions and just really selfish and hurting people to get what we want and everything. We're going to attract that world. We're going to go to that world. And then we're going to see. If we couldn't see things here, we're going to see on the next level. I know I'm getting out there, but this is how it's flowing. And some of you gave me permission. You said, go as deep as you want. That's what we're doing. So we'll go to this other plane. If we don't get it here, we'll go there, and then we're going to get it. We're going to get the lesson then. And that's the benefit. It's not hell, it's learning. It's what we're doing. It's not punishment. We got to see. We need to see things clear. This is what we need to do. So see it now. Preserve your semen, live a high-level lifestyle, your frequency goes up, and you just see things clear. And then automatically you're going to want a spiritual practice, because then you're going to see things even more clear. You get addicted to seeing things clear. That's the healthy addiction. Get addicted to that. All right, see you.